Today's episode comes to you from the Blue Chew Studios. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with the code WRESTLE at BlueChew.com.
Welcome to Something to Wrestle with.
Something to wrestle with.
Bruce Pritchard.
Well, you know.
That's not a rib.
No, yeah, but me.
There's no box of gimmicks.
Rumor and innuendo.
I don't deal in rumor and innuendo. And was he there? I was there. I don't give a shit.
Welcome to Something to Wrestle with.
Something to wrestle
Something
with.
to wrestle with.
Something to wrestle with.
Dig it.
Bruce Pritchard. Hey, it's Conrad the Mortgage Guy, and you're listening to Something to Wrestle with John Layfield. But it is 3/16. Happy March 16th. John, how are you, man?
I am doing absolutely fantastic. And what better day than 3/16? Because Bradshaw's 3/16 says, I just stole your fucking podcast. I'm back. I'm back, bitches. Bradshaw 3/16 just stole your fucking podcast.
WrestleMania season is upon us, and longtime Something to Wrestle listeners know that for the past couple of weeks, we've had to play remixes. So I thought, you know what? Let's celebrate 3/16 in style. Let's get a couple of Steve Weisers out, and let's bring the host with the most, Mr. John Layfield. John, how are you, man?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. And by the way, we'll talk about it in just a minute, but I'm completely responsible for Stone Cold Steve Austin, Austin 3/16, and the entire Attitude Era. And Bradshaw 3/16, which says, I just stole your fucking podcast.
Yeah. Somewhere, we believe Bruce Pritchard is getting ready to produce Monday Night Raw tonight. We hope you guys will check it out. Of course, it's a very special 3/16 Raw, and WWE is rolling out all kinds of stuff today. They've got limited edition Stone Cold Steve Austin collectibles. They're even auctioning off, I can't believe this is real, his knee brace, his right knee brace from what may be his last match ever. We'll talk about that a little later, but the entire day is built around Stone Cold Steve Austin for WWE today. And he was even on Busted Open. We'll touch on that in a minute, but you've got everybody's curiosity piqued. Why exactly are you responsible for Austin?
You're kidding me. You're joking with me. If you're any type of wrestling historian at all, you know that I, JBL, single-handedly am responsible for Austin 3/16, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and the entire Attitude Era, and winning the Monday Night Wars against WCW. And let me explain to you why. For those of you that perhaps did not exist or live during the 1990s and don't have any access to the internet, the King of the Ring tournament, the famous tournament where Jake Roberts had this religious gimmick going on, and Austin 3/16 comes out of the woodwork. Steve has a little bit of lip busted open. He comes back. Michael Hayes buzzes him. He goes out there, cuts a promo of the freaking universe. But before all that happened, I wrestled Jake Roberts in the quarter, I believe it was the quarterfinals of the King of the Ring tournament. And if I had not lost to Jake Roberts, I think I had Vader's number. I would have beat Vader. Did I go to the ring and get Stone Cold? For one, I may have won. But even if I lost, there was no reason to cut a religious promo on me. So there wouldn't have been an Austin 3/16. There probably would have been a hell of a promo. Michael Hayes would have been out there. He still would have had his lip busted open by Mark Merrill going out, had a plastic surgery, come back, does the big Spirit of 76, wins the damn tournament. But there wouldn't have been an Austin 3/16 if I beat Jake Roberts. And there wouldn't have been an Attitude Era, and the WWE would not have won the Monday Night Wars, and we would not be having 3/16 Stone Cold Steve Austin Day on Monday Night Raw. You're welcome, world.
Well, I don't know about all that. I feel like maybe we're getting ahead of ourselves, John. But I do want to ask.
Did you hear those people cheering? That wasn't canned music played by somebody that just happens to be back in a booth.
That's live here on YouTube, because we are live at Something.
There's people right outside my house. They're all here paying homage to me because it's 3/16 Day. Every one of them going, we're huge wrestling fans. Thank you for the Attitude Era. Thank you for Stone Cold. Thank you for Austin. And you're welcome.
Hey, I do want to ask. There's a little bit of revisionist history at times with WWE. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but occasionally they'll blur the lines a little bit. And it's spoken about now that, hey, that promo changed the business and it immediately became the hottest selling shirt. I think it was a happy accident. I don't think they were selling the shirts that following Monday, but I do think that they started to see some Austin 3/16 poster boards in the crowd. Fans were bringing signs, and eventually it did become a shirt. And of course, as Austin got hotter and hotter through 1997, it did become one of the most iconic wrestling shirts of all time.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a minute, but it wasn't overnight. When do you remember thinking, hey, this Austin 316 thing, this has some legs. This is going to be a thing.
Yeah, we actually thought something was to it the next day. That was in Milwaukee, and we worked in the one building. I think we worked in a separate building on Monday Night Raw, I believe. Anyway, the next night, people started having the 316 signs. Not a ton of them, like you say. It didn't go from arenas being half full to being sold out. But, we weren't business had picked up. But it wasn't like business had started to sell out arenas yet. I mean, we're still having a hard time selling any tickets. In 95, when I got there, we had one of the greatest rosters in the history of the world. We had Scott and Kevin with us, but they were in different gimmicks than what they got in WCW. We had Stone Cold with us, who's the ringmaster. We had Billy and Road Dogg, and they happened to be the Rockabilly and a roadie. We had Kane, who was a dentist, and Hunter, who was an aristocrat. We had all the guys. We just didn't have the guys in the right places. And so business was not that good. In fact, it was horrible in 95. It was starting to pick up because of what Scott and Kevin had done, and Hogan had come along, I believe, by then in WCW. But when Steve started getting hot, when Steve said that promo, you knew at the time that was really cool. I remember at the time, like, God, what a freaking promo. I mean, put it over. It was awesome. We had no idea that promo was going to change the business. And the next night we started seeing some signs. That's when we realized this thing has legs, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger each week.
I know what I'm going to ask this question. Some people are going to say, yeah, but he wrestled God on a pay-per-view, and yeah, he did a skit in a church, and yeah, he booked someone to have relations in a casket. So I get that.
Oh my God. I was over in Europe, or I was somewhere in Africa or somewhere. I was on a tour for Vince for WWE. And somebody asked me about the question about the casket sex. And I didn't know about it. That was the first I'd heard about it from a reporter. And I'm up there by myself. And I'm like, I had no idea what happened. It was tremendous.
I think it's interesting that sometimes the guys who were on the show don't actually know what happens on the show. They know what happened in their segment, but you're getting ready. You're busy. You're driving to the next town. Like,
I'm going out there in front of reporters. I'm doing some like press junket or something. We're doing for like promotional tours that are coming up. I may have been hurt or something. I don't remember why I was doing it, but I was overseas, like Africa or Southern Europe, somewhere in that place. And a reporter asked me about that. I told the guy, my handler, I said, brother, you could have smartened me up. That's something that's pretty freaking important, that a guy just had sex with somebody in a casket on television on our show.
A dead somebody too.
That's right. A dead somebody. Yes.
It keeps getting better.
Adds a tinge of necrophilia to it.
A little bit. Hey, I do want to ask, the Austin 316 thing. Of course, we know John 316 signs were a big deal in the 80s in football games and things. You'd see people painted on like bed sheets, and it was common.
By the way, Ricky Henderson said that's no big deal. Ricky Henderson hits 328.
Which I love. Hey, John may be batting 316, but Ricky's hitting 330 or whatever.
That's whatever he said. He always talked to the third person.
Yes. I do want to ask, could that have happened in any other era? It feels like when you go back to Hulk Hogan, who was always wearing, the crucifix necklace, that was a big part. And it felt like Vince sometimes would stray away from that. Other times he would veer over there a little bit, but he would always be careful. Like even with the brother love character, they would say, oh, it's not a religious character. He was telling people about the book of love, but clearly it was tongue in cheek and it was religious. Could Austin 316 have worked during the new generation era? Like, would they have tried that in say 94? Do you think, just 2 years prior?
No, not a chance. They wouldn't have tried it when I came in. Not a chance. Everything, they didn't have promos scripted for us. Writers had not really come in that were scripting promos for people yet, but you still had to clear some things. And if it was something that was a little bit controversial, you definitely had to clear it. People knew that was probably a bridge too far. I don't think anything like that would have been said. You got to understand the Attitude Era. I remember one time, I think it was Triple H asked one of the guys, he goes, we still have a delay on the show. They said, yeah, 4 or 8 seconds, something like that. He said, fuck you, as a response to something backstage, and it worked. There was no trouble. But he did check to make sure that there was a delay. That's how much free reign guys had. Now he's in a different spot than most of the roster, but all those guys that were in that same spot could have done something like that. I remember one time Xbox said GD, and afterwards, I think it may have been Tommy Blanche. I can't remember who it was. One of the riders goes, hey, you might ought to watch your language a little bit. He just used the Lord's name in vain on cable television, and that's all he said. And so the people back then, people don't realize we had free reign, and it all came about because we're getting our ass kicked. And that's when Vince had that famous, meeting where he said, "Hey, I need some help here." And he let guys just do whatever they wanted because guys were creative, and guys, Vince knew that he needed to change something, and Austin took full advantage of that.
Let's talk a little bit about that iconic T-shirt, Austin 316. It was such a departure from the way shirts had been previously. And I know a lot of people are going to say, no, the NWO was a thing by then, and they technically weren't. Of course, the King of the Ring happens in June of 96. Hogan turns in July of 96. But at the same time, all of a sudden on both shows, the biggest shirts are now black shirts with white lettering. And it used to be like full color. I mean, you remember like the Diesel and the Shawn Michaels shirts. It's like a dude's face, and it's like an all over print.
Yeah.
Respectfully, these were not shirts that guys would wear in public a lot of times. Like if you're in college and you're going to go hit the bars, you're not wearing a Razor Ramon shirt, more than likely. Now it's cool because it's vintage, but back then you weren't.
No, that's right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to ask, how unlikely was that all of a sudden just a plain black shirt with white letters, man, it's catching fire in both places at the exact same time?
I don't, I think one obviously started copying the other, but I think we knew we had it wrong at the time. You weren't going to wear another, guy on your shirt, a grown person into a bar, like you say. The Austin 316 shirt is still about a guy, but it's more about a movement, and you wear that every day of the week. I mean, people were wearing that. Those shirts were freaking everywhere. You also have to give a lot of credit to Sylvester Stallone and Clint Eastwood. The world changed during this time. No longer did the cowboy just wear the good guy, just wear the white hat. Now the cowboy, the good guy, babyface, was an anti-hero. And you're starting to see that in the movies. It first happened with Magnum TA. If he would have not had that car wreck, he'd been NWA champion for a long, long time. He was the first Stone Cold. He was the first real anti-hero for the Freebirds down in Dallas, turned to be anti-heroes. NWO, the world was changing. And sometimes you say, is is society a reflection of wrestling? We're not that powerful. No way. At times you can change some things, but we're a reflection of society. It's the other way around. And so I think that's what was going on in society is all of a sudden the guy with the middle finger and the guy with the cool slogan, the guy that cusses all the time, the guy that's disrespectful, that's who people that we're looking up to, or we're starting to look up to.
When you think, you were there obviously for the Hogan, or not the Hogan run, but you were there for the second Hogan run, but you're there for the real rise of Stone Cold. And when Stone Cold becomes the hottest act in the business, you're on the roster. But I know that when you were at home watching on TV, you were a big Hulk Hogan fan. It's even referenced on the back of your trading card. With the benefit of hindsight, you're a business guy. When you take a look at the wrestling business, is it Hogan 1A, Austin 1B, or what does that look like for you?
That's close. I think three guys that you got to say changed the business, not just were the biggest draws, but changed the business or saved the business. I think we're obviously Jim Londos back in the 20s and 30s saved the business at times after Gus Sonnenberg had the expose, and then you had Dan O'Mahony with the screw job, and you needed a guy to step back in and save the business, and Londos did it. I think the second guy, and I'm not putting them in any order here, just chronologically, is Hogan. I don't know. WrestleMania 1 and 3 aren't successful. I think Vince probably still makes it, but it takes a long time, and it goes a complete different route. But because you had Hogan, they were successful. Now, the roster was absolutely loaded, just like it was when Steve was there in the 90s, but Hogan was the guy, and Steve was our guy. And business, it may have come up, and we still might have had the war, but business wasn't going to get hot like it did without Steve. I mean, you put any building in the world, you put Stone Cold's name on, we sold out. I don't care if you're in an armory in Perth, Australia. You put Stone Cold Steve Austin on the billboard outside, that place sells out. I've never seen anything like it in my life, and I don't think I ever will, especially because of what it came from. And that's why, Steve is such an important part of the business. There were guys who drew a lot of money that you could argue, like The Rock, that may have drawn as much. I don't know. That's a matter of looking through numbers, and it's subjective, I believe. But as far as changing the business, I mean, Steve was the one that took us the lead. We had a good roster, great roster. from selling arenas out half full to selling everything out. So I don't know who would be the most important. I think I may give it to Steve. You know, it's a toss up to me. You know, Hogan had 2 runs though. That's one of the things that makes Hogan the GOAT, because Hogan had the run in WrestleMania era, his era. Then he had the run also that he set on fire down there with Scott and Kevin. I mean, that Hogan poured gasoline on a freaking inferno that was already down there because of Scott and Kevin. And so Hogan had those 2 great runs, two of the best times in our business. Hogan was the main guy. So that gives credence to Hogan. You know, it's tough. You know, it's not like you're saying one is really good and one's not. You're saying one is great and one might be a little bit greater is what you're saying.
No, I totally agree. And I think when you look at the totality of both companies, their entire career, you got to give the nod to Hogan. But I often say
I would agree with that. And I certainly could not argue that in any way.
Yeah. But when you really look back with the benefit of hindsight, you know, no doubt Hulk Hogan made Vince McMahon a millionaire, but Steve Austin allowed the company to go public, and that made Vince a freaking billionaire. So the impact of Austin and Austin 316 still perseveres to this day. You know, the entire promotion is built around 316 day. They're doing some of their biggest sales of the year. They're even discounting tickets. They've got limited edition merch. They've got an auction coming up we're going to talk about. So a lot of people are just hopeful, I think, thinking, well, hey, Stone Cold's going to be on Monday Night Raw tonight. That's logical. I would think that too. But in fact, he is not going to be at Monday Night Raw. He did an interview and he denied that. And in fact said he's getting ready for a race. Quote, man, they should tune in because they love WWE and Monday Night Raw. I'll be a few days out from that race, and the race that I'm talking about with my racing career. And we're trying to get that car ready and we're working our asses off. So I'll be hunkered down in a garage out here in BFE, Nevada, trying to get this buggy ready, side by aid utility vehicle, to race this grueling 250-mile race with everybody else that I race with. So I want to get out there and put my own show on out there in the desert. So listen, it looks like Stone Cold is not going to be on Monday Night Raw tonight, but a lot of people, myself included, thought, well, hey, WrestleMania is in Nevada this year. He lives in Nevada this year. Apparently ticket sales are down. They are going back to the same place. Maybe they need a big pop. Maybe Stone Cold could be at WrestleMania, but this doesn't feel like if they were going to start that, it was going to happen tonight. Are you surprised that Austin's not going to be on Monday Night Raw tonight?
No, I'm not. I wish he was. I'm disappointed, but not surprised. I'm disappointed because I love seeing Steve, and he's so freaking entertaining. I'd love to see him interact with all these great stars that they have today. I think it'd be fantastic. But a couple of things people don't know about Steve, or may not know. I don't know what people know. What a good dude he is. And the fact that he doesn't do anything for money or fame. He does it because he loves it. He's in some silly little, not silly race. It's a cool race that he's in, but it's minor compared to all this other stuff as far as publicity, money. I doubt he makes a dime off this. I have no idea if there's any prize money or any type of sponsorship. I have no idea. Steve does stuff because he loves it and he has a passion for it. I think that's one of the reasons he's so successful. That's one of the reasons he doesn't come back. You know, Steve doesn't do things for money. He doesn't do things for fame. He does things because he thinks they're cool and he wants to do them. And there's one Stone Cold, and that guy deserves everything that he has.
Well, let me say this. Stone Cold may not be headed to WrestleMania, but you could be. Today, we're excited to introduce a new sponsor on the show, Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. They've been fighting for the people for over 35 years, and they've recovered over $30 billion for their clients. Not only are they one of our new sponsors, they're also the official law partner of WWE. And what I love most about Morgan & Morgan is that they truly are for the people. And today they're coming in hot, man. They want to hook up one lucky fan with 2 tickets to WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas this April 18th and 19th. That's right. They want to send one of you to Las Vegas to watch WrestleMania 42 live. Now, in addition to the 2 tickets to WrestleMania, they're also going to be giving this lucky winner $2,000 to help cover their travel expenses to Las Vegas. Ooh. To enter, all you got to do is text HEAT42 to the number 4, the people. That's HEAT42 to 484-373-6753 and follow the prompts. Don't miss out on your chance to watch WrestleMania 42 live. Just text HEAT42 to to the number 4, The People. No purchase necessary. Open to legal residents of the 48 contiguous United States and DC who are 18 and older. Sweepstakes end March 29th, 2026. This is a paid advertisement. We're going to do something really, really fun. We've never done this before, but we're going to be bringing in a special guest because I don't know if you saw, but some major news happened in the collecting market. Recently, Heritage Auctions found, and I couldn't believe this was real, the original WrestleMania 1 Hulk Hogan boots, and they auctioned it. Now, maybe you've been keeping up with some of the chatter online, and you saw that Gerald Briscoe found the WrestleMania 9 boots in his shed in Tampa. Well, those boots actually sold for like $100,500. I mean, over $100,000 for wrestling boots. Felt crazy. But John, unbelievably, these WrestleMania boots sold for over $1 million. Here to talk about it from Heritage Auctions, my friend and yours, Tony Giese. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
I am great. I am in Missouri today. I got stuck here. My flight got canceled last night from Chicago, but happy 316 day to you guys.
Oh my God. I've told Conrad this about Iowa, but it's true about Missouri. You know, birds fly upside down there because there ain't nothing worth shitting on. I mean, you're not even stuck in a flyover state. Nobody wants to fly over Missouri.
Happy to be here.
No, you're not.
For 6 hours, no less.
Well, we're going to make the most of our time with you today, Tony. I can't believe this is real, but WWE has gotten in on the game. And John and I sort of freestyled a few weeks ago that this may be the direction this was heading. We saw an all-time memorabilia for the category of professional wrestling record, $1 million item, the very first one. Of course, those iconic boots from WrestleMania 1. And I think that as the story goes, Tony, these boots actually sold a few years ago for like $66,000 through Golden. But you guys went to the extra step to do some photo matching and found they're really the WrestleMania 1 boots. And that delta went from 66,000 to $1 million. Is that right?
It is shocking because these did sell for 66,000. We got them photo matched again. Initially, they photo matched to a growth chart that Hulk Hogan was on. And then we got them re-photo matched because they show great use. And he wrote on there, my MSG blood on there. And we re-photo matched them and they did match to WrestleMania 1, which was, I mean, obviously that was one of the biggest events ever. Helped make it mainstream is really what it did. And it took it from, backyards and smoky arenas to the big time. And now, I was thinking they would go for 200, 250, but the bids just kept coming in and coming in and coming in. And yeah, they went for over $1 million, which we were so happy about because I'm a big wrestling fan. I've been a fan my whole life. And, for so long, it didn't get the love that it should have gotten. And now people are starting to realize that these boots and these articles of clothing, they would wear these for a long extended period of time. It's not like it is today where guys wear it for one show or maybe 2 shows and then it's gone. They wore these for a long time. And we were so happy to have sold those boots.
Hey, Tony, that's a great point, because you're right. Back in the day, we didn't just get something for one big show. We might get our best stuff for the big show. We might have something made, but we would wear it. Those boots have probably been worn several hundred matches.
Yes.
At least. So everybody from the 80s that was huge during that time, Hogan wore those boots in the ring against. I mean, you can I'm sure you can go through and photo match it if you own those boots and want to do all that and see where all those boots were. But those boots, that's some legendary stuff that's right there.
Absolutely. And the one thing is, too, it's hard to photo match them because there's not great photos from that time period. A lot of them were from WWF magazine, or a lot of it would be videos, and it's hard to really match them from specific events.
Hey, don't tell Bill after that. He's going to be mad at you.
We could use him. I would love to talk to him about it. Because
he would be a great source for you. Bill's a wonderful person.
I've read him, from when I was a kid. And he's still around and he's still relevant. And I would love to meet him.
Well, let's talk about why we're here today, because we discussed this last week on John and I's financial podcast. You were a fabulous guest last week. The podcast, if you want to check it out, is called Have More Money Now. And we talked about wrestling collectibles. Well, the conversation went so well that Tony and I had a conversation afterwards where we said, Hey, I wonder how many of our listeners have something out there that they wonder, how much is this worth? Is this valuable? Like, I think a lot of people are now taking inventory of their longtime collectibles and saying, what is this thing worth now? So we decided to create like our own segment here in the show called WrestleWorth. Think of it as almost like we were going to do an antique roadshow for wrestling. So I reached out to a collector friend of mine, and the reason I did this is because I saw that Fanatics has gotten in on the deal. To celebrate 316 Day, Fanatics and WWE got together and they procured the knee brace from Stone Cold Steve Austin in what may be his last match. We're not exactly sure, but it was the WrestleMania 38 right knee brace. So it's from the right knee. He wore 2 that day. So you've got 1 of 2 here. And as we're recording right now, the bidding is over $35,000. Now, it doesn't end until tomorrow, so there's still time left. If you'd like to go ahead and lock this down, it's available now at Fanatics. But I thought, hey, I think I know where a more valuable knee brace is. And it turns out my buddy Dave Milliken, a longtime collector himself and famous WWE belt maker once upon a time, he actually has a pretty slick knee brace. So I wanted to show that to you and let you review it and sort of give your opinion on what you think it might be worth. Our producer Silva has some photos of the knee brace, and these are just, as you can see, these are battle gear. This is battle worn. Mm-hmm. And in the handwritten note that Steve wrote to Dave when he sent these to him way back in 2012, he basically laid out that this was the knee brace he wore, his very first knee brace in WWE, and this was his only knee brace until he went to 2 knee braces. I thought that was interesting, but it does make sense, John. If you're going to go from 1 knee brace to 2, maybe you want, when you switch to 2, to have them be identical, the same brand, the same pair, they're new. That makes sense. So I asked Wrestling Twitter, because hell, everything's on Twitter. Hey, does anybody know when Stone Cold Steve Austin started wearing 1 knee brace and when he went to 2? And the answer surprised the shit out of me, Tony. He started wearing 1 knee brace around WrestleMania 13. So this knee brace was used in the WrestleMania 13 battle against the Hitman Bret Hart in Chicago. That match is, in fact, the very first match that WWE put into their WWE Hall of Fame last year. This same knee brace would have been used the following year at WrestleMania 14 when Stone Cold won his very first world title. That's also the same night where, of course, Mike Tyson raised his hand. I couldn't believe that this is the same knee brace, but it is. And then WrestleMania 16 the following year, the very first match, WrestleMania 15, the very first match between Austin and Rock at WrestleMania, there's that knee brace again. So this is Stone Cold Steve Austin, arguably the biggest attraction, the biggest box office in the history of the company. We all know the history of Hulk Hogan, but I think, when you think about the historical significance of professional wrestling and WWE, it's got to be Hogan 1A, Austin 1B. And this knee brace was used in the most famous WrestleMania match, the first one immortalized at the WWE Hall of Fame for 13. His first world title win, shoulder to shoulder with Mike Tyson at WrestleMania 14. And then again at WrestleMania 15, the main event, once again, this time against The Rock, the very first time against The Rock at WrestleMania 15. So I'm curious, if you had to land a valuation, now, as far as I know, Dave the collector does not plan to part with these, but what do you think these would be worth?
I would say $75,000 to maybe $100,000. The thing about Stone Cold is there's not a lot of his gear out there. I've never seen a vest yet ever offered in the auction business or even privately sold. I would say between 75 to maybe even 100,000, just because there's not much of his stuff out there. We were approached years ago about a couple of his vests, and back then the number was about 40,000. Now today, if his vest sold, it would be a couple 100,000 because it's so iconic. And to think that he wore that knee brace for such a long period of time, I could see that getting 75 to 100,000. And again, there's not much of his stuff out there. He does do some autograph signings, but even then, he doesn't do a lot of it. So that's such an important piece of wrestling history right there. That that would do incredibly well, because look at the use on it. Look where he signed it. He signed it perfectly. And, just the wear on that is amazing. And when you think of him, you think of that knee brace because he wore it all the time. And to have something, something like that is not going down in value. It's going to appreciate through the years just because there's not much of his stuff out there.
Tony, a couple questions, a two-part question, rather.
Yep.
First, how do you price this stuff? Is it a matter of you just done it so long that you pretty much know what the price range is, or do you have comps, or is there a methodology that you use for it? And to the amateur collectors out there who have some items or stuff, how do they look at something and can try to figure out what would they start to get from it without having to go and find somebody like you, because they may not have access to an expert like you?
That's a great question. We had that with the Macho Man Randy Savage collection, because when we started selling it, there had never been like these record prices for wrestling items. And it's tough because there's no price guide on the memorabilia. Autographs are a lot easier, but in the memorabilia, and it's gone up in the last 2 or 3 years so much that there's no real set answer on this. I may say, I think this is 50,000, this is 75,000. The next guy might say this is 100,000. So it's a difficult thing to kind of navigate through because there's no set prices. I think the Hogan boots have really, Drip has really changed the market incredibly on everything. But it's a tough thing to really do because there's no set price guide on this stuff. But also people are gravitating towards what they collected as kids. And wrestling is, for me, I'm almost 50. It was Hogan, Andre. It was the 80s. Now you're getting guys who have money, the 90s, the late 90s. And Austin was so over the top that it's tough to do because, we don't have a lot of prices that for things that have sold in this market. So it's a little bit challenging at times.
Is there anything particular from talent that from wrestlers that is more important than others, or is it just for each person? Like for Stone Cold, is it the vest? But is it for Flair? Would it be the robe? So is it kind of dependent upon the wrestler and what was important to them, or is it certain items sell for more, like boots, trunks, hats, whatever that is?
I would say the things that have more personality to them. I know we had it with Macho Man where the outfits sold for great numbers because there's so much going on in them. A lot of guys, even like Hogan, he had yellow trunks, yellow boots, not a lot of flair to it. But I think as a collector, as a fan, I think the robes are always going to be the top thing. Boots, obviously, because they were worn for a long time. We sold the Von Erich collection, and I think we had Kevin's trunks, and they were just standard yellow trunks, which didn't have.
That's all he wore. He didn't have anything else.
Exactly. You're right. You're right. But we had one jacket that Mike wore, Kerry wore, and Kevin wore, and we had photos of them all wearing the same one. And that one was remarkable because it had the name on the back and sequins and that. I think people gravitate more towards the jackets, the robes, because there's more there. If you put it on a mannequin, it's going to really stand out a lot more. Trunks are a little bit tougher because there's not as much there. It's harder to really put them on a mannequin or display them.
A question about some original things that are out there. Fred Ottman is Shockmaster, a wonderful human being, and me and Ron see him a lot of times at conventions. And really, we like him a lot. But he also, we accuse him of selling the original Shockmaster mask every single weekend. So if there's like 100 original Shockmaster masks, does that kind of dilute the value? And also, Mr. Hughes, we've accused him also of selling the original Undertaker urn for about 100 times. So. I'm wondering if that kind of dilutes it just a little bit.
It would.
If there's 100 originals out there.
Yeah, it would. But that Shockmaster, that's such a moment in wrestling that it's more infamous than famous. But it's something that the actual one that he wore would do well in auction. It would probably surprise us all, just because it was something nobody is going to ever forget that moment when that happened.
My God, yeah. Fred was such a big guy. The only reason he got through the wall was because he bench pressed about 4,000 pounds. The wall was not like it's supposed to be, and he literally busted through it and tripped over a board. So because he's such a big dude, we've always said about Fred, because his son works there at WWE Berkeley. His biggest mistake was not falling to the wall; it was his son Berkeley.
Oh my gosh.
And I hope Berkeley hears this. And I hope Fred hears this. First time I told Fred that, he laughed for like 15 minutes.
Tony, I do want to ask, this Fanatics auction for the WrestleMania 38 right knee brace. Right now, it's $35,000. There's about a day and a few hours remaining on it as we're recording now. The last hour or the last day is when all the activity really happens.
Yep.
You have way more auction experience than John and I ever would. With that number being 35,000 right now, what would you forecast the final hammer on?
50 to 60,000. And in the auction business, 80% of your bids come in the last 2 days of an auction. I can tell you from experience, you get a lot of action early on, and then during the middle, there's usually not much action. Bidders are smart. They know they want to wait. They want to wait till the end. And, 80% of your bids come in the last 2 days of an auction. I always tell people it's a hurry up and wait process is what it is, because people put their initial bid in and they wait. And it's, we've seen things go for 3 times the estimate, and in the last day of an auction. It just happens, and people fight it out at the end. I mean, we saw it with the Hogan booths. I think they were at, I don't know if they might have been at 300,000. No, I think they were like 450 around there. And then extended bid took over and they went crazy. So bidders are smart. They know, they wait, and then they fight it out.
Well, I'm excited to see where this knee brace winds up for Fanatics, and I'm really excited for my buddy Dave to see what that one may be worth. It's not a surprise to me that it would be worth double. I mean, knowing the historical significance of the matches that you can attach it to. I mean, that's really where the value comes in, right? It's not just necessarily who wore it, but what moments or matches you can attach it to. That's the real value, right?
You're exactly right. The historical pieces have proved through time just to be, you may have a jersey of a guy that's a $20,000 jersey. But if it's worn in a specific, in a Super Bowl or in a very noteworthy game, it could be worth double or triple. It's history. People pay for the history of items.
So we're going to start doing a regular segment with Tony here on the program. We're going to call the segment WrestleWorth. If you've got an item and you've been wondering, hey, what's my thing maybe worth? Now, that's not a commitment to sell it. You're just saying, hey, I'd like a valuation. I'd like to know what my collection is worth. Send us an email at wrestleworth@gmail.com. That's the email you want to throw down, wrestleworth@gmail.com. And when we receive that, we may pick your item to review, and we'll ask Tony and tell the story and show the pictures and see what it's worth. And as a matter of fact, Tony, you and I had a conversation after we talked last week about something in my collection. And I want to get you to value that. But first, I want to remind everybody that I really value my dogs. Of course, I'm talking about Better Wild. My dogs are feeling better than ever because of Better Wild Allergy Relief Soft Chews. And I know yours will too. I have to admit, I was not the best dog parent accidentally. I thought my dog Ginger just liked to lick her paws. It turns out that's a sign of allergies. And what I've learned is allergies in dogs often start in the gut. And when things get out of balance internally, it can show up everywhere with issues in their skin, their ears, their digestion, and even their energy. And just like us, dogs need good bacteria to strengthen their gut health and calm down their overactive immune system. The wife and I have turned to Better Wild Allergy Relief Soft Chews, and our pups are feeling the difference. They're designed to support your pet's allergy defenses by strengthening their digestion and helping them restore balance from the inside. They're the only chews out there with the Ancestral Advantage Wolf probiotics and natural ingredients to reduce itching and support gut health, immune system, and skin health. So instead of just covering things up, you're actually supporting your dog at the source. Ginger's feeling better than ever, and your dogs will too. If you love your dogs, you're going to love knowing that you help them make themselves feel better. And Better Wild is here to do that. By the way, my dogs love the taste. They think it's a TREAT. Sometimes we can't say that if our dogs are in earshot. They get all excited. Go right now. Better Wild is committed to helping our dogs with clinically proven, veterinarian-approved solutions you can feel great about. So what are you waiting on? Better Wild's going to hook you up, but just because you listen to this program, with 40% off your order at betterwild.com/wrestle. That's right, 40% off your order at betterwild.com/wrestle. That gets you 40% off your order, betterwild.com/wrestle. So, Tony, I thought it might be cool, since you and I spoke last week, why don't we celebrate something Steve Austin related in order for us to celebrate Austin 316 Day? But also at the same time, John, I can tie it to WCW. It's hard to believe, John. It's been 25 years ago this month that WCW went under. Doesn't that feel like yesterday? It doesn't feel like 25 years ago, does it?
Holy cow. I remember it like it was yesterday, you know, the whole war and everything. And all of a sudden the finality of WCW coming to an end and the guys going down to their show and had the simulcast. It was a crazy time. Hard to believe it's been a quarter of a century ago.
Well, way back when, of course, most of the belts were made by Dave Milliken's mentor, Reggie Parks. Reggie Parks made the WCW United States Championship. And Tony said, hey, Conrad, would you be interested in maybe auctioning that? So I thought, hey, let me go ahead and show Tony why I think this belt is valuable. Let's take a look. All told, the first WCW United States Championship belt was in use from early spring 1991 through late November of 1995. This particular championship survived multiple management changes within WCW, including Jim Herd, Kip Fry, Bill Watts, and Eric Bischoff. 9 men held this championship: Lex Luger, Sting, Rick Rude, Dustin Rhodes, Steve Austin, Ricky Steamboat, Jim Duggan, Vader, and Kensuke Sasaki. No one held this title longer than Rick Rude, lasting 378 days in a single run. Austin technically held it twice for 240 days, even if his second run was probably better counted in minutes rather than days. Sting was United States champion for 234 days across 2 reigns. Dustin Rhodes held it on 2 occasions for 229 days total. Duggan held it for 100 days. Vader had it for 88 days. Sasaki was only champ for 44 days. And Ricky Steamboat retired with it after just 25 days. It was held up 4 times and decided by tournaments on 3 occasions. It was on the first Super Brawl, the first Monday Nitro, and the first World War III. It changed hands at Great American Bash, once in Japan, twice on WCW Saturday Night, twice at a Clash of the Champions, and twice at a Starrcade. Once WCW began using the new Joe Marshall version of the United States Championship, no one would see this particular championship again until early March 1998. So there we go. A ring-used WCW United States title. It just so happens to be one that was worn by Stone Cold Steve Austin before he was Stone Cold. Tony, what do you think? What would you value that one at?
I would put it at 150 to 200,000. The thing about that, they are so rare. They are so rare. You never see them in an auction. You never see them for sale. We had one, I think it was before Fritz started World Class in the late 70s, and it did about 37,000. But I think in today's market, it would do considerably more, probably double. And that was a tag team championship. That belt, easily 6 figures. I think 150 to 200,000. But you know what? On something like that, the money now is so crazy that nothing's out of the possibility on that, just because, you know, that's something you can really put on your mantle and it just shines. It really does. Ring worn outfits are really cool, but the belts, because they didn't make 5 different belts, or they didn't make 5 of the same belt. They made 1. And if you look at that, if you look at the enamel on that, you can literally photo match it to, Stone Cold. You could say that's his rookie belt. You could really say that was his first championship. And when you can say that, and so many guys held it, and you look on the inside at the wear of that, at the enamel and everything, it's a special, special piece. And something like that, the sky's the limit. It really, truly is.
Now, Tony, you were telling me off air that you guys have a big auction coming up in May, and you're actually going to be featuring some of the items that are wrestling related. They're going to be at that auction around WrestleMania weekend. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we're going to be at WrestleCon the whole time through. We did WrestleCon in Indianapolis a few years ago for the Macho Man, and we did WrestleCon last year, which was amazing. I was shocked at how many people were there, and it's people from everywhere, from the UK, from everywhere. It's a gathering place. It really truly is, to celebrate wrestling. and we're going to be there. We're actually going to have the Hogan boots on display there.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, we're going to have some more Macho Man stuff. We've got the WrestleMania 19 Hogan boot that he wore against Vince McMahon, working on some other items. So it's going to be a great display. We're excited because wrestling, it's a passion of mine. I'm kind of in my element when I'm at WrestleCon. It's fun, and I'm looking forward to it because we're going to have a great display, and we're very excited about it.
Well, I'm pretty excited to hear the valuation, John. That was not a number I expected. I'm grinning ear to ear over here, bud.
Yes, sir. You got something very valuable, Conrad. So you got a little decision here you got to make. You want to hold on to it. Do you want to put it in an auction? You found something. You got something of incredible value, and that really is cool. Those are some all Hall of Famers that have held that title.
It's amazing. It really, truly is.
Yeah.
That video was created for a short-lived series we had over at adfreeshows.com called Title Chase. But I saw the video last night as we were preparing for this segment, and I thought to myself, we need to bring that back. So maybe we'll start doing some new episodes about that. I'm gonna go ahead and commit right now, Tony. If you think that's a real number, I think that belt is going to be available for folks to check out at WrestleCon. I'm going to go ahead and do your paperwork, and we're going to get that one.
Wow.
I am
really.
So and I got to
wait a minute, Conrad. Wait a minute, Conrad. Clarify that. Are you putting that thing up?
Yeah, I mean, we got to work out some of the details because I'll admit I've never done an auction like this before, but I am curious. Like, hey, if the
Conrad, that's like one of the most famous belts in wrestling history because all the guys that have had it with the time period it was, you got it, and you're talking about putting that thing up for auction.
And I think fans should come check it out in person at WrestleCon this WrestleMania.
Holy shit, Conrad, that's great. That's awesome. I want to see it.
Well, come to WrestleCon, check it out. And by the way, if you're listening and you've got something sitting on the shelf or your mantle and you're wondering, hey, I wonder what this is worth, shoot us an email, WrestleWorth@gmail.com. Send us photos of your item. Tell us the story of how you got it, and we'll show it to Tony and let him guess what he thinks it may be worth. And if you're interested in getting it listed and doing an auction, Tony, you can help our listeners out with that pretty easily, can't you?
Absolutely. Tony G at ha.com. You can call me anytime, 214-409-1997. I will say this, though. In my 20 years in the auction business, that is the first time I have ever gotten a consignment on a podcast. So,
tremendous.
I'll be honest.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the title itself.
Yeah. I mean, and it will have security there. We'll have everything. And that belt will be prominently right front and center at the Heritage Auctions booth. I'm excited.
That's a big deal, Conrad. I mean, that's a big fucking deal.
That is a huge piece, by the way. It really, truly is. And when you put photos of all those guys wearing this belt, it just jumps out at you. It really, truly does. And I can't wait to see it myself in person because I've seen photos. I saw the video. But to see it in person, to see the wear, it was on the road for how many years? 10 years probably, let's say. I can't wait.
Hey, and I've held several titles, and I've seen what guys have done with them sometimes on their off hours. There's no telling what that title has been through. I promise you. That title's been through it. I promise.
I don't want to think about that. I am instead going to think about.
I do. That's great.
Tony, I think you probably know this, but a lot of collectors, they want to maintain their privacy. They don't want people to know what they've got. They want to keep it locked away. And that's certainly been the case in my wrestling experience. But I want to sort of upend that. I have brought all of my belts for years and years, John, and you've seen them at StarCast. I let fans come check them out and enjoy them and see them and take photos with them and the whole deal. Well, the WCW United States title on the 25th anniversary of WCW going under, it's going to be at WrestleCon with Heritage Auctions. Tony, this was fantastic, and I hope we can get you back next week. I hope we've got something cool. If you've got something on the shelf and you want Tony to give you an idea of what it's worth, I mean, think about it. Dave Milliken got a gift from Stone Cold like 14 years ago, and it's a 6-figure item. Who would have thought? What do you have? We want to tell your story right here. Drop us an email, WrestleWorth@gmail.com. Send us the picture, send us the story. We'll show Tony next week here live. This was fun, wasn't it, John?
I loved it.
It was awesome. Hey, Tony, can we auction Dave Silva?
No, the estimate would be priceless. Actually,
It would be. It would be.
You can't put a price on
You
that.
know what makes me mad was I didn't steal a bunch of shit when I was in wrestling. You know, there's always stuff lying around. I wish now I'd have just collected it all. And
Nobody thought it would be worth what it is today.
nobody did. Like, who would want a pair of old boots from Hogan? You know, come on.
I mean, you guys would wear them till there was nothing left, right?
Right, that's right. You'd wear them
And
to the
then you'd
soul
probably
wore out. We'd redo them, and yeah, guys were terrible about not getting new stuff, just like redoing it, refurbishing it, and stuff.
Sure.
And, it just didn't matter to us.
Well, this was
It
fantastic.
does now.
Yeah, now it's changed.
WrestleWorth coming your way next week right here on Something to Wrestle. Shoot us an email, WrestleWorth@gmail.com. Tony, I hope to see you next week. Maybe we get some cool stuff this week, but
I will be here anytime you guys want me. I will be here. I love it. For
Tony,
me,
you're
it's
the best.
so much fun. Thank you so much, guys. And
Thank
thanks
you.
for the consignment as well.
No, thank you. Send me the paperwork and safe travels.
It's
We
on its
appreciate you
way.
taking time to jump on with us.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yep.
John, what do you think? Should I auction this thing off? Should I let it go? Should I hang on to it a little longer? What do you think?
I think you done now wrote a check that you got. You're gonna have to put it out there now. Yes, absolutely. Hell yes.
I mean,
Yes.
the whole idea was, hey, I want to share this with other people, and the idea that, hey, if it really is that valuable, I think there's probably a better use for that money, at least for me in my world right now. So I think I'm going to go ahead and pursue it.
Absolutely. The lead up to it's going to be cool. You're going to be able to take that belt on a road trip and take a bunch of pictures with it, let people see it, let fans take pictures with it, and then auction the thing off. This is a big deal, Conrad. This is huge. This is what's one of the most prominent belts in wrestling history.
And it's going to be at WrestleCon. Go check it out with Heritage Auctions. I can't wait for you guys to see it. All right, listen up, y'all. Chime is changing the way people bank. It's fee-free and smarter banking built for you. Not like those old school banks that still charge overdraft and monthly fees. This is a bank that's built for you, not the 1%. Chime isn't just another banking app. They unlock smarter banking for everyday people with products like MyPay. That gives you access to up to $500 of your paycheck anytime, and you can even get paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. Did you know some banks still don't do that? Forget the overdraft fees, the minimum balance fees, and the monthly fees. Chime turns everyday spending into real rewards and real progress. Now you can bank fee-free, plus get overdraft coverage you can actually count on. Did you know Chime can help you build your credit history too? You can do all this stress-free. Maybe best of all, you get paid when you say up to $500. Did I mention you can earn up to 3% APY on your savings? Guys, that's like 7 times higher than a traditional bank. Here's something I know my mom would love. It's rated 5 stars by USA Today for customer service. Why is that? Well, because it's real humans 24/7. Chime is the new way to build credit history with your own money and get rewarded every single day with no annual fees, no interest, and no strings attached. And when you get qualifying direct deposits, you can get 1.5% cash back on eligible Chime card purchases. This is a game changer. My only regret is I wish Chime was around when I was first getting into the banking world. Imagine if we all had this when we were like 19. Well, the next best thing is you can get it today. Chime is not just smarter banking. It's the most rewarding way to bank. Join the millions who already are banking fee-free today. It just takes a few minutes to sign up. Head on over to chime.com/wrestle. That's chime.com/wrestle.
Chime is a financial technology company, not a bank. Banking services, a secured Chime Visa credit card, and MyPay line of credit provided by the Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A. MyPay eligibility requirements apply, and credit limit ranges $20 to $500. Optional services and products may have fees or charges. See chime.com/fees info. Advertised annual percentage yield with Chime Plus status only. Otherwise, 1.00% APY applies. No min balance required. Chime card on-time payment history may have a positive impact on your credit score. Results may vary. See chime.com for details and applicable terms.
And we are live right here and taking your questions. We had a lot of questions pour in right there. So let's try to catch up as we normally don't have guests, but we had some today. Wrestling on the Spectrum. Brody Herman is with us, and he wants to know, John, when did you first meet Steve Austin? Was it in WWE or somewhere else?
Oh, good question. I think the first time I met him was when I came in, I believe. He came in obviously with Ted, $1 Million Man, and it was the ringmaster. I think that's the first time I met Steve. Because I didn't work and didn't have much contact, say, with WCW or WWE, for that matter, before I came in. I'd lived basically in Europe for a couple years working for Otto, and I'd worked in Japan so much in Texas, and Steve had, started in Texas, but was already gone. So I don't think I met Steve until I got into WWE.
I do want to ask you, when we take a look at Steve Austin's career, do you think if the opposite order would have happened, it still could have worked? Meaning he was stunning Steve, and then he came over and he was the ringmaster. If he had gone to WCW second, like he had a Dean Douglas type run in the WWE, do you think when the NWO became a thing, could he have enjoyed similar success there? I know you were never there, but go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I don't think there's a chance in the world. And not because of not the creativity of WCW. Steve did that pretty much on his own. That was just, things just happened. Sometimes the universal lines, obviously people tell the story a million times. Hunter was supposed to go over in King of the Ring, getting punished for the curtain call. Steve steps in. It just happens that he's going against Jake Roberts, and a religious gimmick comes up with Austin 316 on the fly. I just don't think that stars align for him in WCW. He was such a good hand. He was a great worker. Him and Pillman were, what a great team. Steve was probably a better worker then before some of the injuries that he was later. And I still not a better worker, a better wrestler, because he could do so much more and he was more healthy. But so I think they would have used him, and he'd have been a great hand, probably would have been champion, but I don't think he had ever risen that level. I think what happened to Steve was ECW. I think we got down to ECW, and Paul Heyman just gave him the carte blanche, and maybe helped him a little bit. I don't know what all went on there. Steve really came into his own about how to cut promos and how to be himself. And, I thought about one other thing, Conrad, between him and Hogan, and again, you're comparing great and maybe greater, it's a little difference in making a hot territory mega hot and making a territory or helping it rise from cold to mega hot. I think that might be the difference in Steve. You're arguing about who was 1 and who was 1A. So a lot of things can go back and forth there.
Another great question from a Instagram, a wrestling historian. He wants to know, on the May 6, 2002 episode of Raw, you were tag team partners with Steve Austin. What's the story behind that? It was so random. Haha. Thank you. That is around the same time where he gets awfully frustrated. What do you remember about teaming randomly with Stone Cold Steve Austin?
Yeah, it's just a matter of they're trying to give me some rub, and Steve was obviously Steve, and so they're doing a favor to me. They thought it might be an entertaining match. That's all it was. There was a time when Billy got hurt, and in fact, I talked to Steve just today, Steve Blackman, and we were laughing about it because Billy got hurt during the show. And back then we'd leave and go to the next town. Guys didn't stay for the whole show because we're on the road 253 nights a year, so we're always moving to the next town. And I left the building, and I was going to take Billy's. I think it was Billy. I was going to take Billy's place. They punished me for 3 straight weeks. I believe it was the same match on Sunday Night Heat. They put me in there with Steve Blackman doing like a hardcore match, and every week it was, "What are we doing? Steve's just going to beat you." That was just it. Steve would just laugh, because we knew that's what was coming. So we did the match, and Steve would find a way to beat me, and then do the match next week. Steve would find a way to beat me next week. So they tried to give me a push a couple times, and that was something where I was filling in for somebody that needed something. They were mad at me and punishing me. But that 2002, that was just a matter of trying to give me a little rub to see if I could step up to the next level.
Do you realize it was interesting that he asked that question? Great job on the question again, as always, Instagram, a wrestling historian. But I think I just looked at Cage Match. I think according to Cage Match, that means that you had 3 of Steve Austin's last 25 matches. Did you know that?
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I was supposed to work with Steve. Something in there during that time. I don't remember exactly what happened, but that's when Steve, kind of fell out with the company and left.
Yeah. What's interesting is, May 6th, 2002 is your last tag team with him. And what an interesting team it is. On the one side, you've got Scott Hall, Big Show, and X-Pac representing the NWO. On the other side, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, and Bradshaw.
That's pretty good company.
It's like, wait a minute, what's going on right here? I get the connective tissue of you and Austin, but of course, if you go back a week prior to that, Ric Flair was the special guest referee, and that week it was you and Austin against the NWO. But that is interesting to think about, that you were in tag team matches in 3 of Austin's last 25 matches, and that even goes to this current day. Your last match, though, as I said, though, was May 6, 2002. It was June 9th when he works his last match with the company before he takes a sabbatical. How did you know what a big deal that was at the time when Austin had the O2 walkout? Obviously, Vince was highly pissed. He does something that was uncharacteristic of him at the time, and he goes on the Confidential show and pretty much just buries him, and he allows The Rock to go out and bury him. And I know that just made the harder feelings, you know, it expanded the bridge. Now we're going to have even more stuff to work through in order for him to come back. But did you think at the time, hey, they'll fix this next week? Because it was so hot, it just felt like, hey, cooler heads will prevail. The money will win in the end, but it didn't.
You could have given me any odds you want, and I would have bet it'd be fixed within a week or two, or at least a couple months. Vince made up with almost everybody over business. You know, when business, he brought Warrior back. I mean, Vince figured out a way when it was business, he would bring people back regardless of his personal feelings. I didn't believe that Steve was gone and going to be gone. I was kind of understand, we got there again. We got there in 95 and business was so bad, and all of a sudden we're selling out everywhere. That's the guy that did it. And all of a sudden he's gone. Do you think he's coming back? Absolutely. He's our guy. I mean, he is our guy. And so, yeah, I was shocked that it didn't happen.
Do you want to venture a guess who has 50% of Austin's last 4 matches?
Ooh, I would have no idea.
Eric Bischoff.
You're kidding me.
No, this is the silliness, of course, where they were doing, co-GM stuff, and he's just taking a million stunners. But still,
right.
I think it's interesting that you and Eric Bischoff are somehow
there
of Stone Cold Steve
Austin.
Austin.
Eric was a great character. Eric's a brilliant guy. You know him. I mean, good Lord,
yeah.
Man. He's done so many things. He's doing something right now with RAF. I mean, he's doing great things. Eric was a great character. He understood the business. He knew it was a work. He had fun out there. Didn't mind doing anything. I remember when Vince threw him in the garbage truck, on his way out, and he busted his head open when he got hit in there on some spike or something by accident, whatever it was, just a potato. And Eric didn't care. I mean, nothing bothered him. Say sorry. People, of course, apologize for busting him open. He's no big deal. He didn't care about anything. He understood the business. He was a really great character.
We are live. If you got a question for JBL, we are celebrating 316 Day. We talked a little bit about his knee brace and, of course, Stone Cold's WCW US title before he was Stone Cold. But we did get a great question here from Wrestling on the Spectrum, who says, we're from Missouri, by the way. Hey, sorry about that. Maybe I was a little stiff there. However, what particular wrestling item, if it hit the market, would shatter records? Now, that's interesting. A lot of people had this debate online in the shadow of the Hogan sale for the WrestleMania 1 boots. Those were the first, well, I guess that is the first wrestling collectible to breach $1 million. So is there something out there, at least in your mind, John, that would be more valuable than Hulk Hogan's WrestleMania 1 boots? And what is it?
Yeah, I think there might be. I saw it last year, and I don't know to me, I think it might be more valuable because of what it came from. It was Jim Londo's old belt. His daughter, who still alive, a lovely person from California, came out to the Waterloo, Iowa Hall of Fame last year and brought Jim Londo's old belt. And people were taking pictures with him. That is an absolute treasure. I mean, that's wrestling history 101, same as Hogan's boots. But I think something with Londos or something maybe with San Martino might be, and maybe even I don't know. I'm sure they've sold 1 million gorgeous George Rose. Some probably are not legitimate, but I think something like that has a chance of getting to that if they're special enough.
Do you think there's enough? First of all, I appreciate that answer. I think that's a great answer, but I'll be honest, it's not the answer I was expecting, because I would think that I would focus more on when wrestling really went mainstream. When you go back to the massive explosion, call it 85 to now. I got to think it's items in there, because I don't know. Like, I know if this were baseball, what you just said would be my answer for sure. The old Mickey Mantle cards, Babe Ruth something or other, the Honus Wagner card. That makes total sense to me. But I think in a pro wrestling context, it would have to be, call it that WrestleMania or Rock and Wrestling era to now. Is there anything in that era that comes to mind that you could think of? Like, someone once upon a time suggested, hey, if the WrestleMania 1 boots were worth $1 million, what would the WrestleMania 3 Hogan boots be worth? Or maybe the belt Hogan wore that night, or maybe the singlet of Andre the Giant, or maybe it's something that's not even necessarily Hulk Hogan related. Is there another item out there you can think of?
Yeah, Conrad, I agree with you. It's got to be something from WrestleMania 3 main event. And one of the reasons is, and you're right, it's not necessarily like baseball where you got the old, Ty Cobb bat, that he'd use with a split grip or something that a baseball historian would love so much. What's meaningful to people is what was meaningful to them at a point in their life where it was special. And a lot of these men and women, mainly men from, say, the 80s that were part of wrestling fans during that time, those guys are older now, like me, and they've got those guys. Some of them have got a lot of disposable income. Well, you know what? I'd love to have in my man cave somewhere Andre's boots, Hogan's boots, the title that they had that night, some other gimmick from that match. That to me is the most important match probably in wrestling history, the Hogan versus Andre match. And I think something from that would shatter records. I think Andre's boots, those damn things are so big. I've seen them, in the WWE headquarters. They used to have them in the WWE restaurant that was on Times Square. One of the few things in memorabilia that they had. I thought they should have had a bunch of stuff, but those things are they're freaking massive. Massive. I think those things could do something like that.
Little Jimmy 97 is with us here live, and he wants to know, what would Brother Love 316 or Bruce Pritchard 316 be? Of course, he says this because you've reminded us. Wait, what was it that Bradshaw 316 means again?
Bradshaw 316 says, I just stole your fucking podcast. Ha ha! Yes! I'm back! I am back!
What do you think Pritchard 316 would be? What would that be?
I'm pissed that somebody stole my podcast. It wouldn't even be any good. It would just it'd be like just mad, like pouty lip, boo boo face, like ooh, like that. Boo boo face is what it'd be. Like, he stole my podcast. He's an asshole. That's what it'd be. Like that'd be Bruce 316. He'd just be mad, but would not be entertaining. Would not be nothing. It would be nothing like Bradshaw 316.
Hey, let's we got a serious question here, and I did not expect this one. AOTV Productions, he always brings the good ones. He wants to know, John, what are your thoughts on what's going on with the DiBiase family? As we're recording, I think they were all back in court today. I can't pretend to know exactly what the latest is, but I'm sure you've kept up with it a little bit. Do you have an opinion on what's going on right now?
I do, and it's heartbreaking because I love all of them. And I'm talking about, I only know Ted's wife a little bit, but I know Ted very well. And I know Ted Jr. Pretty well. I did a lot of stuff with us on the JBL and Cole show. I was around them a lot. And look, they're wonderful people. I have no idea what happened, and I don't care. They're my friends, and I love those guys, and it's heartbreaking to me, and I hope that it ends well for them. And look, I understand there's repercussions of everything you do, and people can take this out of context. I don't care. Those are my friends. I love them, and I hope whatever the best is for these guys, it works out that way.
Well said, John. I think we all agree that we hope that it works out that way. And something that you and I have been working on behind the scenes, I'm excited for us to talk about just a little bit, because we're about to unveil something that you and I first brainstormed an idea about a year ago. And then we finally put pen to paper in the fall. And then come November, we let the cameras roll and we did something that you guys are going to see momentarily. But right now, I just want to remind everybody, especially guys my age, hey, when you hit the mid-30s, does it just feel like you're moving in mud? Well, maybe you need Mars Men. All right, listen up. If you're a guy, you probably know, like me, you hit your mid-30s, maybe you're 36, and all of a sudden everything feels like it's just not as easy as it used to be. Maybe none of us talk about this as often as we used to because nobody tells you this stuff. It just feels like one day you're crushing it, and the next day you're wondering, hey, what the hell happened? Well, here's what happened. Men start losing testosterone around the age of 30, and they lose about 1% every year after that. That's why I started taking Mars Men. And here's what I've learned. Our bodies make testosterone, but a lot of it gets locked up and it can't be used. It turns out there's this protein called SHBG that basically like handcuffs your testosterone. So even if your body's making testosterone, SHBG locks it up so you can't access it. Think of it as like having money in the bank, but your debit card doesn't work. Mars Men is designed to help free that locked testosterone so your body can actually use it. There's no synthetics, there's no needles, just real ingredients that help optimize energy, focus, and strength. I'm telling you, you're going to feel stronger physical performance. You're going to feel better recovery in the gym. maybe most importantly, you'll feel more consistent natural energy. And buddy, this isn't like drinking a cup of coffee. It's more of a steadier sense of drive throughout the day. Did I mention that Mars Men supports healthy T levels, energy, and stamina? That's what it's all about. They do this because of 8 natural, clinically dosed ingredients. Things I can't even pronounce, but I know we need. How about it's made in the USA? It's third-party tested, and they give you a 90-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk. So the worst case is, man, if you don't absolutely love it, you can get your money back. But over 91% of users report higher energy levels. Thousands of guys are already feeling the incredible results. And don't take my word for it. Check out the reviews on their website and see for yourself. But right now, for a limited time, our listeners can get 50% off for life, plus free shipping, and you even get 3 free gifts at mengotomars.com. That's mengotomars.com for 50% off and 3 free gifts when you check out. After you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. John, I'm excited for us to reveal what we've been working on. But before we do that, I did want to ask you, I don't know if you saw this, but Stone Cold was asked this morning on Busted Open if he still gets the itch to wrestle. And he said, I'm done. I could go out and do something. I'm not lobbying to do that. The fact that people are still like, hey, man, it would be cool to see him do something. I guess it's an honor. But the itch to return would go back for one of those moments, not a match itch. I got a left knee replacement a little over a year ago, and god dang, my leg feels good. I'm glad I got it done. I get the itch for certain moments, but to try to do a match, no. And I think a lot of fans are we're hopeful that, hey, maybe we'll get him one last time at WrestleMania, but it looks like maybe he really is done. You're a betting man. What would you put the odds are that we see Austin do another match, or is it more likely that we see him just line up half the roster and hit a bunch of stunners?
I would bet against a match is my guess, but I would bet for a stunners that coming. I don't know when, and I'm WrestleMania maybe tonight. I have no idea. Maybe that's the whole thing's a ruse. I don't know, but I would bet stunners. Just the itch to get out there and to do something. And the problem with Steve though is that WrestleMania match with Kevin Owens, Vince wanted just basically a stunner. And Steve said no. And I remember seeing Steve working on some stuff like the day before. And I said, how long you been working out? And he said, about 20 minutes. He had not been wrestling. He had not worked out. I thought he'd been training that match before that. He just took that match last minute and went out there and had, I thought, a hell of a match with Kevin. Kevin's a good worker, really great worker. But I thought he had a hell of a match. But that's Steve. You cannot get him. And I say this all the time about Steve. When he was on top, you couldn't get him to go 20 minutes. He'd go 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever it was, then sit out there and drink beers for another 20 minutes. He'd be out there forever because he loved performing. And so if Steve ever gets out there, it may be a lot more than a stunner. I've been out there with him when Vince has told us nothing physical, this, that. All of a sudden, Steve wants to do a whole bunch of stuff, which I did too. And Steve ends up doing it. So I think if Steve ever gets out there, it may be more than stunners.
I just naturally assume, John, that, hey, if we're going to see Steve at a WrestleMania, well, it's going to be this year. It's in Nevada. He's in Nevada. Allegedly, ticket sales have been sluggish. They've cut the prices. They've had a hokey pokey relationship with, will we black it out in Las Vegas? Will we not? So it feels like, hey, man, just add Austin. Let that glass break, and here we go. But for him to say, I don't know about that. Maybe not another match. Maybe we do get a cameo. I hope that we get that. But then I look at next year, and I say to myself, they're supposed to be in Saudi Arabia. If they are in Saudi Arabia, maybe there's a big enough check coming his way where they could justify that. But I think the bigger question right now is, John, with all that's happening in the Middle East, is it even a guarantee that WrestleMania is going to be able to happen in Saudi Arabia next year? If they wind up needing to pivot and WrestleMania next year, for whatever reason, politically or from a safety perspective, it can't be in the Middle East. Where should WrestleMania next year be? Would they go back to New Orleans? Would they do what the Blue Meanie suggests and go to London? Is it somewhere else? Where would you have a backup plan if you were WWE? If Saudi Arabia can't happen next year, what would be a suitable replacement?
I think it'd be tough in London because you're talking about doing it in March or April, and it could be really bad weather in the UK. Their weather is a little more erratic, than a lot of our places because of where it is geographically. You might go to Australia. I think you'd take it somewhere on the road. I think you're already planning on going on the road. So I would not bring it back to the United States if that's the case. I think probably the odds are that politically it's going to be solved by then. That's a long time politically for the world to get through some problems. But I think I would take it somewhere overseas and be like I love bringing up London. Put 100,000 people in something somewhere. Set some record somewhere, take it to Japan or anywhere. But I think you've already planned on going overseas. If you can't do it in Saudi for some reason next year because of political reasons or safety reasons, I would take it overseas. I would leave it overseas.
We didn't talk about mentioning this, but I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. Have you had a chance to review any of the footage of what happened over the weekend in OVW? And if so, what are your thoughts?
Just parts of it. My thoughts are, Al Snow is such a good human being and a good dude, and he's a legit guy. There's nothing, I just hate that stuff like this happens on somebody's show. You can't always control what's in the ring and how guys in the ring react, no matter what standards and practices you put in place. All of a sudden, somebody has a seizure, and it's shocking. You think, when you have time to think it through, it's easy to figure out what you'd do in hindsight. When you're out there, it's not quite as easy, especially if you're new in the business. And those guys in OVW are. And I hate it because I hate it for OVW and Al, because Al is a stand-up guy who's done so much for this business that, I hate that anything like this would happen in one of Al's rings.
Hey, we got a great suggestion here from Darren Staley about the potential WrestleMania opportunity next year. He says Japan could be amazing. Now, that seems a little far-fetched for me, but can you imagine how wild it would be if somehow WWE were to be able to hold a WrestleMania in the Tokyo Dome? That'd be bananas, wouldn't it?
Oh, my goodness. And set some attendance record there, which they would do. That place would be insane. Wrestling in Japan has changed so much. When I first got there, it was the old Japanese style wrestling where people would sit there and watch you if the match was good. So you'd sit. It was really unnerving first time you'd work there, because the crowd would be no matter how many people are there, they'd be silent if the match was good, and you got no feedback. Well, now they become more Americanized or Europeanized, whatever you want to say, with the signs and the chants and stuff. Now they are one of the wildest crowds there is. I think Japan will be off the hook.
And if they do Japan, they probably got to do Tokyo Dome, right? I mean, that's probably the biggest venue in Tokyo, right?
I think so. Yeah, you'd want the biggest, most prestigious place, which WWE would do. It'd have to be the Tokyo Dome.
One last thing I want to ask you about, and then we're going to reveal what we've kind of been working on. Cody did a great interview last week with a friend of the show, Chris Van Vliet, and they had a conversation about his weird relationship with Roman Reigns. Specifically, he highlighted a story when they were both on the set of the new Street Fighter movie, where they're both cast in and they both play characters there. And he reveals that the creators of that movie, the production staff, they were very cognizant of keeping them apart. Like, they wanted to make sure they didn't even cross paths. He said it happened once and it was awkward. I thought that was interesting. Quote, "It was very awkward. That's a crazy relationship. I have nothing but admiration for what he's done and accomplished, but I don't know what it is. I don't even like talking about it because I don't know what it is. It's just a very strange relationship." And I wanted to ask you, did you ever have a relationship like that in wrestling, where it's not like you were necessarily enemies, but you wouldn't necessarily categorize yourselves as friends? You were almost like professional rivals. And I think a lot of people once upon a time would look at, say, The Rock or Triple H that way. Maybe they had that type of relationship a generation prior. Maybe it was like Flair and Dusty, or maybe even once upon a time, Savage and Hogan. Did you have a relationship like that at any point in your career?
No, not to that extent. And I think most people probably don't. You obviously go out there and you have people that you don't know very well, and they're not necessarily animosity, but you're both kind of competing for the same position. And that did happen many times. And, you're both just, you're not on guard because you're not expecting somebody to double cross you or anything, but it is a little bit strange. You want to show them that, you still got to get over, and they have to get over too. And you're both in position fighting for pretty much the same spot, and you don't know each other very well. It can be a little kabuki-ish, as we would say. It happened a lot in Japan. Get over there and you'd have some of these great, wrestlers that they're trying to push. You don't even speak the same language, and you're both kind of fighting for the same spotlight, and you're out there in a match. It can be a little strange sometimes. It never turned into something that was anything untoward or any type of fight or anything, but it was it could be strange.
Well, speaking of strange, we had kind of a strange idea about a year ago. We started brainstorming. Hey, we should do something different than. Our old pal Eric Bishoff often used to say, in business, you can be better than, less than, or different than. And you and I took a look at the wrestling content landscape and said, hey, let's try something different than. And it was funny because as we bounced ideas off of each other, rarely were the ideas ever about something you or I could do together. It was always about ideas where we could feature other people. And we came up with kind of an interesting idea. And we've been sitting on this footage for a little while. And I thought, hey, why not today on 316 Day, show everybody what we've been working on. And maybe
because I have stole a podcast.
You have indeed stolen a
Bradshaw
podcast.
316.
Maybe you've done it multiple times, as a matter of fact.
Yes, sir. I'm a thief.
They're going to bring you up on charges. We got to get the repo man or the big boss man around here.
Be wrestler's court.
Oh, don't tease me with that. We do need a wrestler's court. So chat me up. Tell everybody what we're about to see, and then introduce this fabulous footage we're about to reveal for the very first time.
So the idea is very simple. And again, it's the idea that we're not using for ourselves. I've always had better ideas about pitching for other people. It's actually a lot more fun, and you can actually see it, I think, a lot more clearly. And you're not biased toward it when you're pitching it for somebody else. But I've always thought that there were so many guys out there, all these signings that, got over incredibly well at some point in their life. And I think they could do it again. You just give them the opportunity. And what you and I wanted to do, Conrad, was give these guys an opportunity. Some of these older guys like me that probably still have something left in the tank, maybe not physically, but have something. They're very entertaining guys. I sit at these conventions with them. I laugh for hours about how funny and entertaining and smart these guys are. To get over is hard to do. And these guys who are at these signings, pretty much all of them have gotten over somewhere, different degrees, but sometimes massively in different places. And so the idea is to have this show Curtain Jerkers and just have some absolute fun. It's kind of, in my perspective, a little bit like the JBL and Cole show, where we kind of created that to give guys an outlet that they didn't have normally. This is an outlet for guys, and it's something that we think might work. And if it doesn't, it's just because we must be dumbasses. We're wrong, but I don't think we are. But we'll find out pretty quick because we're about to play the first clips of it.
Ron Jab 94, you want to know if we're live? Yes, we are live. It's 6:21 Central Time here in Alabama, and we're going to play you a clip that we've been working on for quite a while, ladies and gentlemen. And when we come back,
and this is wild, by the way. This is a great edit that was put together. We've been sitting on this for a while. I think this is a pretty good little show. And this is different. You're gonna enjoy this.
Shout out to Dylan Freimer from DDP's Place. He's done a fabulous job with this. We're going to debut a new segment here on Something to Wrestle, and then we'll be back live. So if you've got questions or comments, stay tuned. John and I will be back, and we do have a special guest in the wait. But right now, I can't believe it. I wish I had a drum roll. Ladies and gentlemen, we introduce to you for your consideration the night after the Oscars. Maybe we were a day too late. Curtain Jerkers.
And it's not the last time I saw it. $20, dude. I've been trying to move it all weekend. You can't sell it for $20? Can't, man. What'd you start with? Did you start with 30? No, I started with 20, man. So Berserker is 30. Yes. Alex Baker's 35 up here.
That's a rare one.
Wait a minute. Oh hell no. Barry Horowitz? I used to ride with Barry. Barry's more than me.
Excuse me, sir. Could we get you to explain what curtain jerkers means to you?
Curtain jerkers? Curtain jerkers is something that I never was. I'm a wrestling god. There's only one. And I always, in fact, I never even watched the early matches. In fact, I never watched any matches but mine because none of them were any good.
What do you think about JBL?
You don't know who he is, do you?
Look at this. Conrad's $40. Looks just like him. Why is Conrad $40?
He's a rare boy, man.
People want that Conrad thing.
People like Conrad?
Oh yeah, man.
Wait a minute. So you can buy JBL and JBL, give $40 and get $10 back.
You could also throw in
or buy Conrad.
JBL and we would do
package deal.
We'll do 3 for 1.
I'm only $15 right here. You got me everywhere, and I'm like nothing.
Blonde hair JBL, that's a rare one.
MVP is 115.
115, man. That's Elite Series 1. You are 23.
That means that MVP is almost 6 times what I am.
Damn, 75 for Bradshaw and 115 for MVP is crazy.
See? Everybody hates you. Everybody hates you.
Welcome to Curtain Jerkers, and we're going to talk all kinds about jerking. We've got, well, not the jerking kid, but the Casio kid and the Hornswoggle with us. Yeah.
Hornswoggle.
Yeah. Welcome to the show, Hornswoggle. Somebody find me a trash can.
I'm so happy to be here.
No, you're great to be here. Now, listen.
What?
I want to ask you something. This is serious.
Okay.
Dead serious, all right? Because there's some things in life sometimes you go through that are momentous occasions, and these things sometimes either make you or sometimes scar you for life.
Okay.
I was in Houston when 9/11 happened.
Okay.
I remember it like it was yesterday. My father was there for World War II and Pearl Harbor.
Wow.
Not there, but he was alive. It happened. I was alive during the moon landing. You had something.
You're so fucking old. Go ahead.
You can't say fucking on podcasts.
Go ahead.
We can. I got card.
Go ahead.
You had a traumatic event.
I was not
traumatic.
there.
I mean, traumatic. You don't even know
John,
what I'm talking about yet.
I do know what you're talking about.
No, you don't.
I do.
What am I talking about?
The time Festus broke in to the tanning room that Zack Ryder was in, and Zack was having his alone time.
He was what?
Having alone time.
Doing what? What do you do in your alone time?
What do you do in your alone time, John?
I read.
I eat.
Read. Do you?
Yeah.
Yes, so eats. What do you do?
What do I do?
What does Zack Ryder do?
Has time to himself, John.
That's alone time. That's the definition of alone time. That's you're defining alone time and say, oh, he's alone. What does he do alone time? He's alone.
He was masturbating.
He was where?
In the tanning bed.
In the tanning bed. This is at home?
Nope.
This is a public tanning bed.
Some may say.
He was in somebody's commercial tanning bed.
Yeah.
Flogging his mule.
I don't know what flogging is.
Whacking off.
It's aggressive.
Some may say.
It's aggressive.
Did he not lock the door?
I don't know.
Well, did Festus pick the door lock?
Nope.
So he didn't lock the door.
Correct.
So that's like an invitation. Come on in. Like
Come
on in. I'm in here flogging my mule.
It was not. Stop saying flogging your mule.
What would you like to call it? What makes you comfortable?
Alone time.
Well, I don't think that jerking off in a tanning bed is not really alone time. It's kind
It's
of
not alone time.
Yeah.
No, and he leave the door open.
Especially in public.
I don't think
He left the door open.
I don't think he meant to leave the door open, John.
What did Festus do when he walked in?
Ah!
What'd Zach do?
Ah! Is that what you want, John?
No, I don't want none of this. This is like traumatic.
Now, you were there, right?
I was not. The guys keep saying that I was not there. Just heard this story for the first time yesterday.
So you don't tan? Do you get in the tanning bed?
I only use half of it.
Do you have alone time? They charge you half?
Nope.
Oh.
Here it comes. That's fucked up.
So you just heard about it. Did you read the victim impact statement, or how did you know about this story?
Has there been any counseling?
No.
Is Festus that fucked up that he doesn't need counseling when he walked in on a guy flogging his mule in a tanning bed? In a commercial tanning bed? I mean,
You've met Festus, right?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so that's the answer. You know that.
He is different.
Yes.
He is different. He is different. But I still think walking in on a guy flogging his mule is not something you would be normal with.
I thought
like, oh, hey, here you are, just whack it off, have a good carry on.
You never walked in on Ron flogging his mule?
No,
Okay.
no.
All right.
Oh God!
And Ron would spine buster you for even asking that.
No, he wouldn't. He
Oh
loves
yeah,
me.
he'd be like a little pile there.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever walked in on Ron doing?
You know, I used to think his name was Varuk.
Oh,
Baruch.
Yep, not Farouk. For my whole life up until about 4 years ago, I thought it was Varuk.
now, and how did you find out?
I never
He has a
really walked
t-shirt.
in on Ron doing anything
He has a legitimate
weird,
T-shirt,
but
with Farouk on it.
Oh, so he's read it.
Yeah, but I didn't know if that was spelled wrong.
He
Or
got a misprint
or
on
they
his own
changed it.
shirt.
Or they
What
changed
does
it.
Zach say about this?
He says it's Farouk.
No, talking about him choking his chicken.
I don't like chickens.
I bet you don't.
I don't like chickens because
We're going to talk about chickens in a minute, but you didn't choke a chicken. Or did you? What does Zack Ryder say about this? This is not normal.
he was not happy that the story came out, John.
Why didn't he lock the door?
I don't know. I wasn't there. I just heard this story yesterday.
So Festus caught him like mid-stroke or
I
something.
don't. Yes.
Like down to the short strokes.
I don't know.
Did it come?
I don't know. I
That's
wasn't.
disgusting. Isn't this like a
Oh, I'm
crime?
disgusted.
This is a crime.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do that in somebody's business.
Yeah. That's
Okay. I
Place
don't
of
know.
business.
What do you want me to do about this, John?
I'm just asking questions. You know the whole story.
I
Because
don't.
apparently you were there.
John,
Now, does Zach do this often?
can we tell the story about the chicken?
Got choking the chicken? Or?
Nope. About a certain video that you have,
I do have a video.
and I don't appreciate this video.
I don't blame you. I feel terrible about it.
I was tormented.
You were tormented.
I was scarred for life.
I agree. Like you walked in on somebody choking their chicken in a tanning bed.
What's happening? This is Ron Simmons, aka Farouk, and you're watching Curtain Jerkers, and if you're not, damn!
Ladies and gentlemen, here's your winner and the top of the Battle Royal champion, JBL, Jeff Bradshaw, Layfield.
JBL, a hard-fought battle. I mean, do you think you could have done anything different, or did it go how you thought it was going to
Listen,
go?
all my training with Brad Ryan against the 1980 Greco-Roman World Champion, all of that, the years in WWE, the 280-day long reign, that was a world record-setting reign at the time, all came to fruition today when JBL won another title.
You heard it here first, folks. All he does is win.
That's it. Wrestling, God.
JBL is one of the greats. I'm gonna tell you that. He's awesome. But when I watched him in the past commentating, and sometimes he needed to shut his trap just a little bit, okay, and let somebody else talk.
How is Cardona 75?
Cardona, man, we sold a lot of Cardona. Same price, man. Same price.
Did y'all hear about him in the tanning bed? You'll quit selling them.
All right, fellas, you know what time it is. It's time to level up, and Blue Chew just dropped something crazy. I'm talking next level championship belt gold-plated energy. Blue Chew Gold is the newest innovation from the #1 chewable ED brand. And man, this ain't your grandpa's little blue pill. This is the 4-in-1 beast that's setting the gold standard for performance. We're talking 2 ingredients for blood flow to keep that rocket pumping, mixed with apomorphine and oxytocin to turn up the arousal and connection in your brain and body. Blue Chew Gold dissolves under your tongue, and it works in as little as 15 minutes. That means you can get it on quicker and stay in the game longer. Elevation without hesitation, peak passion, and peak performance all in a single tablet. If your bed could talk after this, it'd be asking for a break. Make your life easier by getting harder and discover your options at BlueChew.com. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Get 10% off your first month of Blue Chew Gold with the promo code WRESTLE. That's promo code WRESTLE. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring today's podcast.
Welcome back to Curtain Jerkers. I'm John Layfield, better known as JBL, with the Casio Kid and with the man who's got kids.
Oh, baby.
Mr. Heath Slater.
Yeah, baby. How y'all
Heath,
doing?
welcome to the show. We just found out some horrible stuff about Zack Ryder, by the way.
We did, real bad.
He was flogging his mule in a tanning bed in public.
In public, not like in the house.
No,
Like a place of business.
They told y'all this story?
Hornswoggle told us the story.
Man, that's a true story.
Whoa.
Tanning booth, right?
Yeah.
Tanning bed?
Yeah.
Where was this?
McDonough, Georgia. Deep South. 17 years ago.
Now, did
16 years ago.
Did guys go to that tanning bed after him?
I hope not. I never went to the tanning bed because I'm a ginger. I'm a redhead.
Yeah.
I got two colors. It's white and red.
Very dangerous.
That's it.
Yeah, very dangerous
so,
for you.
Yeah, and it's supposed to cause cancer. But those guys love to be.
Wait a minute. The jacking off causes cancer?
Well, I mean, if you jack off in a tanning bed with the sunbeams hitting on your balls, maybe.
I don't know. I
say you get
I've
vitamin
never
D, I
tried it.
think, the sun on your tank.
But that's
I
not
heard.
vitamin D coming
Oh,
from
it's
a
just-
UV ray.
That's a good call. Good
You
call.
know? Exactly.
You got a doctor's degree.
So his
probably.
ass is over here damn playing with himself in a hot tub. I mean, tanning bed.
They did in the hot tub
Probably
too.
a hot tub too. But, you know, hot
Where all
climates.
where all did Zack Ryder play with himself?
Well, as far as I know, there was a tanning bed situation years ago. And I'm guessing, you know, in his shower in his bed too. If I was a guessing man. I don't know specifically, but
You
I
never
do-
called him, though.
No,
Anywhere.
but we all heard the story.
I thought you were about to say you all heard him.
Oh, no.
I don't know if he's a loud guy.
Oh, no, he might be. He might scream. Who knows?
Are you a loud guy?
Me? Not really. I'm a deep moaner. You know, like
A deep motor? What's a deep?
Deep.
It's like this. It's like that.
It's like what? It's like what?
I wish I had headphones right now.
You heard that. It's like one of them.
Are you?
It might get turned up a little. It might get turned down a little, but it's a, you know.
Where's the weirdest place? You know, tanning beds are weird.
What, jacking off?
Well,
What is wrong with you?
When you put it like
Yeah.
that,
I don't jack
sounds
off
like
everywhere.
A weird question.
You think it might be a weird question?
Man. I got kids. You know, I have a wife. I'd go to that to get me off.
There we go.
I just don't whip my dick out in Walmart bathroom or a tanning bed or on the street just playing with it, you know?
That Walmart bathroom, you said really quick. Did anybody like Zack Ryder, is he known for?
I mean, maybe. Who knows? If he did it in the tanning bed, he might do it behind any closed door.
Yeah, all bets are off after that.
You know?
Do you know if he finished?
Oh, shit. I've never asked him. I mean, we can ask him. I mean, I'm close enough friends to him. I'll ask him.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask you.
Hey,
Do
brother,
you want to ask him?
No, I don't. No, I really don't.
Hey,
I
how
really
about this?
do
How about-
not.
I'll ask him.
You'll
and I'll see
Oh,
what
yeah.
he says.
Call him.
And
Now?
Yeah, let's put it up to the phone.
He might answer.
This is going to be great.
All right, let's see what's up.
Ask me if he finished. I mean, it's
Hold
just, we need to know the story. If
with
we're gonna keep
Festus
telling
in the
it.
room?
That would be weird.
No, I think Festus walked in. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, make sure he's. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What's up, baby? I got a question for you, man. I'm on this Curtain Jerker show. And you probably know everyone that's around me.
How you doing, Zach?
All right, so I guess there was a story that came up about many years ago with you in the tanning bed.
Oh my God.
And I think everyone at WrestleCade heard it, and I think I'm the only one telling you about it as a brother. But the real question is, did you get off?
I did. Oh, it ruined everything for me, bro. I'm fucking in there, doing my business,
Yep.
and then, you know.
He ruined it all, right?
Ruined it all, but he was more afraid than I was.
Hey, baby, I don't want to keep people up and everything, but that was the real question that we all wanted to know.
But isn't that like just the opposite of what you want to happen? Like Sofia Vergara walks in or something, but then Festus walks in. I mean, that is like the worst. That's like the worst thing you could. Out of 8.5 billion people, that could be the worst person to walk in.
Oh, man, that's a limp noodle right there as soon as you see that shit. Hot damn.
Show him to the camera. Let everybody wave. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for telling us if you finished or not. That was great.
See you, baby.
He said that's fucked up.
Hey, there we go.
There we have an
Now we
answer.
know.
He did not. Festus walked in.
Hey,
and
no
scared
offense
the
against
shit.
Festus, but he's not. He's really not that good looking. I mean, he really is not.
Not probably the one to get you over the edge.
I mean, I don't think any man walking in with me playing myself is going to make me come.
Well,
you know?
but not just any man. This is Festus.
What would be the absolute worst wrestling move for your grandmother to perform on you?
I don't know. Probably the stink face.
That's right.
What's up, brother? How you doing, man? How you doing, man? Good to see you. You still growing? You look like Carlito ain't Carlito. I don't know what's in them apples, but
I don't know what the fuck a curtain jerker be, man. I don't know what the hell that is. What the fuck's a curtain jerker, Tyler?
Let's get ready to rumble.
you know why it is? Because you're a damn bully. That's the reason it is.
I'm not a bully.
You're a bully and
So
you know it.
Here's the issue.
Did Big E have to kick you one time because you're a bully?
He did.
Wait, why did he kick you?
Because
you kept poking Big E?
The back of the head. Like I would be riding with him.
And did Scott Aycock do this to you because you're a bully?
Scott
the
Aycock
chicken.
did do this because I was a bully.
Okay, so now you have several instances of being a bully.
Oh, there's many out there. Yes.
It's a pattern. It feels like.
What are we gonna do about this?
Who was that?
It's you.
I don't sound like that.
What are we gonna do about this?
I don't do that.
I feel like you do this like every time you see your wife. Hey, babe, how you doing?
I don't fucking do that.
Got
I
a
don't
steak
do
and
that.
potato?
And I don't
Got a
sound
steak
like
and
that. I
potato?
don't sound like
That's you.
Cornhole Jeffries.
I don't know what kind of 1944 reference is that?
He was over in NWA. Yeah, he was like, he was NWA champion.
So
he beat guys with the go bind.
Not taking that one. Not taking the bait on that one.
Here you are. Why are you not taking that one?
Nope.
You had a guy flogging his mule in a freaking tanning bed in public. He might as well be on the freaking Interstate 20, just whack it off.
Nope.
Interstate 20. You can't do that in public.
I was bullying Scott
I
Aycock.
like Pee Wee Herman.
I was bullying Scott Aycock on a tour of, I believe this was South America or Central America.
Well, there's a big difference.
There is.
Xenophobe.
Xenophobe.
They all look alike. Go ahead and say it.
Nope. I just don't have.
No,
I like vodka.
There's like 1,000-something miles difference.
I don't have a good memory.
Well, fair enough.
Okay, thank you.
Fair enough.
Idiot.
Well, that wasn't nice. You
I
said
know.
idiot below your breath. I heard you.
I did not.
Yes, you did. I heard you said idiot below your breath.
I said done dan idiot.
That's
So
not
I was
nice at all.
bullying
That's-
Scott Aycock the whole tour. He finally
Are
had
you doing
enough.
that to be hurtful to me?
Yes.
When you say bully, what do you mean?
I may or may not have on when they would sneak me out to the ring. Right before I would go under the ring, I would hit him in the dick.
Okay. Boy, that's way more aggressive than I thought. I thought you were like giving him a wet willy or
No,
punching him in the dick.
Yeah.
Hard?
Can I continue?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Don't punch me in the dick.
Don't punch me in the dick.
I don't sound like that.
But I didn't do this.
That wasn't you that time. That was him.
Okay.
He doesn't do
Well, we
that.
sound kind of the
He doesn't
same.
do this. He
That
just
sounds-
punch him in the dick.
That sounds
That's
just
him.
like it. I mean,
It
that
does.
sounds just
Yep.
like it. That's
so I
like
was-
Rich Little.
Short joke. Got it.
Wasn't a short joke. That was an impersonation joke.
You said little.
Well, yeah, because you
Can I
know,
continue?
Don't get hot.
Thank you. Don't get hot. So
You were just me with the arm movement, I think, on his impression.
you're this. You're this.
I did this.
Yeah.
He's got one impersonation, and all he does different is you do this or
Punch me in the dick. Punch me in the dick. Punch me in the dick.
I don't sound like that. I kept punching Scotty Aycock in the dick, and he had enough. So I was under the ring.
He's just a security guard protecting
Let
you.
me continue, please. Thank you.
How many punches in the dick is too much?
Maybe I tell a story. Thank you. So
More than 8.
So last night of the tour, I don't know how they found a chicken, or how they procured, hell of a word, the chicken, but they got the chicken, and I was under the ring because above me was Drew McIntyre versus Chris Masters. I then see the apron go up, and I'm like, this isn't my spot. And they don't usually go under the ring. And I look, and I am changing under the ring into my gear to just take the breath away from millions of fans that evening.
Why would you not change before you got in the ring? Did you
Because
carry your
I
clothes
would
with you?
Yes, I had my
What,
gear
you
bag.
had like a lunch with you?
I had my gear bag under the ring because I had to go up before the doors were open.
We didn't change into it. You changed on the ring.
Yeah.
What else do you bring for under the ring?
Well, I had my clothes with me.
Your
Just clothes and axe?
No.
Tanning bed?
May I continue?
Yes,
Thank
go
you.
ahead.
Tanning bed.
I don't sound like that.
Okay, sorry.
Don't fucking do that.
Casio.
Tell him.
That sounds just like Casio. It
did,
really
right?
does.
Yeah.
Did I be just like him? You're like Rich Little.
Little Richard.
Yeah.
Fuck. There we go. Got it. I see the apron go up, and I go, "What was that?" And now I'm sitting, and I see a rooster underneath the ring.
That's fine. They're fine.
Thank you. I don't like birds at all.
Oh.
They're deceptive.
Is this some like evolutionary thing?
Nope.
That's like little people don't like birds or something?
That's Heidi's.
Evolutionary.
That's a very Heidi's term. What? Okay. So then the chicken.
It's like some Darwinism.
Is it all birds?
Yes. The chicken then approaches me. I have a grab whatever I can, which is a
So you
kendo
like
stick.
hate Sesame Street.
I am telling this goddamn story.
Sorry, don't
Thank
get
you.
hot. I apologize.
I grab a kendo stick, and then I think in my head, what am I going to do with this? And in my mind, I need to protect myself. This animal, this beast of sorts, is going to attack me.
Why do you think it was going to attack you?
It's a chicken. Birds, again, very deceptive, very questioning. You never know what they're going to be up to.
Have you ever been attacked by a bird before?
Have you ever been shot at?
Actually, yeah, I have. But
Let me guess, 1940 in Saskatoon, Washington.
There's not a fucking Saskatoon, Washington. What are you talking about?
you know all
You're
the
like conflating like everything together.
You know all the cities in Washington?
That's a fair point. No,
Thank
I
you.
don't.
Can I continue?
Washington State or?
Can I continue?
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. So then I proceed to tell the photographers and such, and Scott Aycock, I'm going to kill this chicken or come out and ruin my spot, and then you guys ruin the show.
Very
You
unprofessional.
can't do that.
That's
You can't ruin the
unprofessional.
I
spot.
can ruin the spot. I'm not going to get attacked by a chicken.
You can't ruin the spot.
I'm not going to get attacked by a chicken, and this beast cost me my life. Not going to happen.
So you're underneath the ring with the chicken.
Yes.
And you're chasing it around with a kendo stick.
No. It was coming after me.
And making his way in from Los Angeles, California, weighing 265 pounds, the Master King, Chris Mister. God damn it! Get the fucking... Get that thing out of here!
And I had to defend myself, so I picked up the kendo stick and was about to hit the chicken.
Why do you have a kendo stick under the ring?
There was many weapons under the ring. Have you never worked in World Wrestling Entertainment?
I have, but I've never like been on the ring like changing or anything.
Well, you don't ever lift and see, oh, there's chairs and tables. And you had that whole huge run in the hardcore division. That's
Yeah.
probably the best thing of your career. I don't like when you say that.
That was a shot at me, wasn't it? That was not nice, was it? You're being mean, aren't you? You're being a bully.
I am.
Yeah.
hmm How do you feel about yourself? How do you feel?
Not good
The
at
shoe's
all.
on the other foot now, isn't it? The boot is on the other foot, I should say.
You're a bully.
Some may say.
So what happened with the chicken?
They
Did you
eventually
choke it?
Oh, God damn it. Oh, God damn it.
Well, there you go, John. The debut episode of Curtain Jerkers. Of course, we've been working on this for quite a while. It's been our baby. We were curious to see how it would be received. We had a live studio audience here today. I saw a lot of good feedback. What'd you think, John, watching it back?
I think it's great. I think it's funny. It gives guys a chance to have a lot of fun and do stuff that's out of the ordinary. And we hope to do this a lot. I hope people liked it. I have no idea. I thought it was great.
Well, I'm excited that we got to debut the very first episode. We are going to be sprinkling in some curtain jerkers in upcoming episodes of Something to Wrestle. And you know what? Sometimes we sprinkle in a guest. Let's welcome to the program the other tag team partner, the 6-man band here, or the 3-man band, whatever. We're going to get there. We're a trios champion now. Cassio Kid, part of Curtain Jerkers. Cassio, welcome to the show, man. How about
What's
this?
up, boys?
How you doing, Cassio?
JBL, what's wrong with your face? Or you just look like that now?
What's wrong with my face?
It looks weird. No. I mean, it's just not normal.
What do you mean it's not normal? What's wrong with my face? Have you like looked at yourself?
The chat's been talking about it.
The only thing that could help you is if you like Sasquatch grew that hair all over your face and head.
I don't think you can grow the hair on the head anymore.
Oh, no. Jesus took the wheel on the head, brother. Cassio, as they call me, Pie 314 is mine, which is my favorite food and my current weight if I went on a diet and quit eating pie.
Is that kilograms?
Oh, my God. Listen to this.
What the fuck's up with my face? It's not that bad.
Hey, I don't mean to
I
call
didn't
how much heat are we going to get for airing that here on the Something to Wrestle channel today, John? I bet all of a sudden our phone starts ringing this evening. What do you think?
Did you just think of that?
We have some friends that have some other friends in the business, and they are watching this right now, and they texted and said, "Hey, that guy you thought about having on the show, he's probably not going to do it after watching this."
Well, that checks out.
If he's never jerked off in a tandem bed, we don't want him. You know what I mean?
So I've been Bradshaw 316 says I just stole your fucking podcast, and I'm already losing guests.
Yeah. Well, look. By the way, how good is Red Ass Swoggle? When he's hot, it's the best.
The best.
Hornswoggle is, I tell you, that guy is a national treasure. He is so freaking entertaining.
Man. Well, we're gonna have some fun with this. That was just the tip of the iceberg on the insanity that is Curtain Jerkers. I mean, it is insane. I've been involved in some insane things. We've had some insane moments on what we've got coming up.
Yeah, and we've got some crazy moments, but Conrad and I were talking earlier about the fact that you had a casket, a sexual rendezvous that might have been, something maybe they didn't think through. Not sure they did or not. We just aired this right after that.
We did, yeah.
Like, what are those guys thinking? Hey, let's show you something. Watch this. Hold my beer.
Hey, let me just go ahead and give a tease, though, because next week we're going to be airing a special guest as a part of Curtain Jerkers. I don't want to reveal the name yet, but it's somebody that I don't think you ever worked with in your entire career, but it's somebody you hold in very high regard. I know you don't want to necessarily give the spoiler of the name just yet, John, but our next guest next week, that was a real treat because it was really one of the first times you had even conversed with that person, right?
That is true, yes. It is a lot of fun and some wild events, along with Cassette Kid, who doesn't like my face.
You know what? What you're talking about, I think if I can remember correctly, I even asked when y'all started hanging out or meeting and working together, and when y'all started talking about you had never worked together, it blew my mind. I mean, both of you have been in the business for so long, to not have crossed paths is absolutely insane.
Yeah, and that's one of the fun things about doing shows like this and doing conventions and now having Curtain Jerkers until we get canceled, which may have already happened.
It could have already happened. We hope that we're still here with you next week. And if we are, we're going to have a very special guest, a member of wrestling royalty you don't want to miss out on. And it's the first time you've ever seen John on camera with this person. I think it's really the first conversation they've ever had. We'll be talking about that next week. Want to give a special shout out to Dylan Freimer from DDP. You've seen all the fabulous work that he did back in the day for AEW on the whole Road 2 series. He promotes the Southern Honor Wrestling promotion. He also edits all the video for 1FW. He is a proud member of our wrestling community and a part of the Curtain Jerker family. And so is professional funny man Corey Ryan Forster. You heard his voice throughout the thing. He's traveling, he's booked, he's a big time, he's big leaguing us, so he's not available, but maybe we'll have him jump on next week. Before we put a button on this one, John, we are live and we got another live question here. Wrestling on the Spectrum wants to know, I loved Curtain Jerkers. Where did you hear the term flagging their mule or flogging their mule? John,
flogging their mule. I had no idea what Hornswoggle was going to say. None. I was talking about the chicken that was underneath the ring. And by the way, the gentleman that just passed away that everybody talked about so fondly of, he was the one that loaded the chicken under. That was Davey Coates, the one that everybody's talking about. Wonderful guy. You know, Davey just passed away. His son works for WWE. But I thought that's the story Hornswoggle was going to tell. I had no idea. I never had heard this story at all. So the term flogging your mule was the only thing I could think of. Like, what in the hell have we just gotten into? And by the way, I did miss something. Cassio is so freaking quick that I'm not used to working with guys that quick. When he said, "Where'd you hear that?" The victims report. I just totally missed it. It's like throwing frisbees to somebody in a chair. You know, I'm like, I know what that was a joke. I just not smart enough.
Victim impact statement.
The victim impact statement.
I love we went from $1
I
million.
didn't catch it until I watched the damn thing back. Then I thought, God, what an idiot I am! Just sitting there and just missed it.
I love we went from $1 million Hogan boots and possibly belts. That's gonna Conrad selling to JBL going over his $5 figures at a convention.
That was hurtful. That was not funny. That was.
We're gonna drive the price. Curtain Jerker is gonna drive the price up for JBL memorabilia.
I'm gonna get that sumbitch up to $21, $22. I guarantee you.
We got to get you more expensive.
Conrad had a fucking doll there that was worth more than mine. No offense, but I just thought it's a wrestling convention. I thought mine would be worth something more.
But maybe
I'd buy Conrad's, but
maybe the most surreal thing of the weekend is the following morning. We're all in the hotel lobby and we had breakfast delivered and we're finishing breakfast. And a random fan said, "Oh my God, Conrad, I didn't know you were going to be here. Can I run to my room and get my action figure for you to autograph it?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course."
He just carries it with him.
So he comes back down and he's got the action figure in a paint pen and I'm signing it. And Cassio sneaks a candid shot, and we'll show it next week here on the show, of a fan asking me to sign a figure in front of JBL. It's like, "Hey, John, will you pass that to Conrad?"
Yes, that happened. That happened. And I still don't understand because I wanted to punch that fan so bad. I still don't understand why this fan randomly had a Conrad action figure with him like a security blanket, like Linus and his stupid fucking security blanket was with him. Like he's just carrying it with him. And all of a sudden, oh, hey, there's Conrad. Yeah, because you're probably going to run into him at any random time.
My favorite is, it's not like, "Hey, can I take a picture with a Hall of Famer, former world champion wrestling god? Can I ask him for an autograph?" It's, "John, will you hand this to Conrad?"
That's what happened. Yeah. And Conrad's sitting there literally just big dong with that Barry White voice. You know, yeah, like, "What would you like here? What would you like your kids?" Like, yeah.
Conrad signed an autograph. A Hall of Famer's flogging his mule over there in the booth. It was good.
That's right.
Oh my God, folks, tell your friends about Curtain Jerkers. It's a part of Something to Wrestle. Hit the subscribe button, tell a friend, and we'll see you next week right here on Something to Wrestle with John Layfield.
Bradshaw 316. I just stole your fucking podcast.
Oh, by the way, if you're still here, we can save you some money at savewithconrad.com. Hey, real quick, want to give a shout out, serious business. I know we're winding down and you're anxious to go watch Monday Night Raw. Before we get out of here, just last week, we helped a single dad, an IT professional in Tennessee, knock out his car payment. It was actually a truck payment, but 6 credit cards. He's going to skip his next 2 house payments, and come 2 months from now, he's going to save over $800 a month. And you can do this too. You don't need perfect credit or money out of your pocket. So if you haven't already, hurry over to savewithconrad.com. We've recently been able to work with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. They've removed all of their minimum credit scores. That means we're not the bank. We're not the credit union. We don't say no. We say not yet, but here's how. But we've routinely been able to help families with credit scores in the 500s change their life. If you have more month at the end of the money and you'd like to flip that around and have more money at the end of the month, you've got a friend in the mortgage business. That's me. Drop me an email, Conrad@savewithconrad.com. Give us a call toll free at 888-425-0105, or get a quick quote, even talk to a live person right now at savewithconrad.com. And tell a friend, check out Curtain Jerkers as a part of Something to Wrestle next week, right here at somethingtowrestle.com.